degrees. The dew point was 36, making the relative humidity 47%. Winds were north at 9 miles an hour. The pressure was 30.18 inches and steady. At Coleman Regional Airport, skies were fair. The temperature was 55 degrees. The dew point was 36, making the relative humidity 47%. Winds were north at 9 miles an hour, gusting to 15. The pressure was 30.22 inches and rising. At the Coleman Agricultural Station, the temperature was 55 degrees. Winds were north at 7 miles an hour. Elsewhere across the area, Fort Payne, partly sunny and 58. Scottsboro, fair and 59. Gadsden, cloudy and 58. Huntsville, cloudy and 57. Muscle Shoals, partly sunny and 59. Once again, at 3 p.m., at Albertville Regional Airport, cloudy and 55. And at Coleman Regional Airport, fair and 55. Regional weather conditions at 3 p.m. Skies ranged from partly sunny to cloudy. 60 at Chattanooga, 54 at Memphis, 56 at Nashville, and 59 at Atlanta. Birmingham reported 58, Tupelo reported 59, and Knoxville reported 57. Now here is the local forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy. Lows in the lower 40s. Winds 10 to 15.
What is going on, my friends? Hope everyone is doing all right out there. Glad to have everybody here for today. We got ourselves quite an early stream today. We are doing this because there's a lot of stuff to talk about here, and we want to make sure that everybody is staying up and on top of the weather here because things are expected to get a little bit crazy out here. There's two systems we're watching. One of them is getting ready to drive some snow across the south, while the other one seriously is kind of a big deal. The Storm Prediction Center has already put out risk here about a week out, talking about how crazy this potential severe weather event could be. We might see a possible outbreak on the horizon here, so we'll definitely have to watch out for this here, because like I said, conditions definitely do not look good regarding the severe weather and stuff like that. But anyways, my friends, hope everyone is doing all right. Let's see, we have Jenny here. What's up, Jenny? Hope you're doing good. And Tornado Clips. What's up, everybody? Hope all of you guys are doing all right out there. Let's go ahead and jump right on into it. So, like I said, we're watching a couple systems here. Like I said, the first one you can see right now on my screen. This is the HRRR, obviously showing up with the future here. You can see how that low pressure system kicks up. Maybe some sleet starting to fall for areas of western North Carolina and western portions of Virginia. It kicks its way up here even further, turns into some snow, and then obviously as it moves through, the latest trend has just been a little bit more rain than snow. That is kind of the latest trend here. I can't believe they already put a day 7 outlook, basically. I can't believe they already... Yeah, that's basically what she's trying to say. Yeah, this is pretty crazy. Tornado Clip says potential widespread severe storm outbreak, especially if moisture return is so good. Like I said, the models is just ridiculous. The models are just absolutely crazy because, like I said, I mean, they've been showing this support here for the last several days, right? And the models have been talking about this event here for the last several days, and literally it's still kicking strong here. And I'm actually going to bring you guys over to the models now. We're going to talk about this here because I think that this deserves a very good amount of attention today. Because, like I said, this is a very much growing concern here for the southeast, regarding the severe storms. And I mean, obviously we had this little snowstorm moving through, but like I said, I mean, it's going to get pretty. It's possibly going to get pretty brutal here, basically for later on. So, anyways, but we're going to take a look here over at the Storm Prediction Center here. I want to go ahead and show you guys the risk first that they issued, and then we're going to look at the models. That way we can tell you guys what day we're talking about. But we're going to start off here with what's going on here for today. So let's go ahead and switch on over here to the Storm Prediction Center here. So here we go. So here's today's risk. We have a little marginal risk here across areas of Florida, basically northern Florida and southern areas of Georgia. Just a little thunderstorm risk here, just a little severe weather risk here, nothing too crazy. Tornadoes, they actually removed that probability there. Damaging winds is possible, and that's about it. So obviously today, really not a big concern. Tomorrow, like I said on the video, we actually got introduced a slight risk here. This is a level 2 out of 5. Like I said, this is a little bit more of a bigger deal here. This is a pretty big threat here for tomorrow with a little, across more specifically Florida. Areas of southern Georgia could be included. But tornadoes, 5% chance. We're probably going to have to go live tomorrow for this, this coverage here. Also damaging winds, and there is no hail probability. So watch out here tomorrow being Saturday across Florida. More specifically the central and northern areas of Florida, including the Panhandle, we gotta have to watch out for. Anyway, so we move our way down here into time. This is for Sunday. There is no risk here for Sunday. Monday, same thing. Tuesday, nothing, but look at this. On Wednesday of next week, this is for the 15th, we have ourselves a 15% chance of seeing severe weather. And like I said, the fact that they issued this several days out is very concerning. The Storm Prediction Center usually does not issue risk out here that far unless there's some serious support behind it. And in this case, there is. So, with that being said, like I said, northeastern Texas, areas here of northern Louisiana, northwestern Mississippi, areas here towards Arkansas, western Tennessee. Yeah, we have ourselves that 15% risk here, which is definitely a little bit crazy. We're going to have to definitely watch out here for. As we move our way into Thursday, that's kind of where the big, the big risk here stretches all the way to the east. So basically for areas of like Mississippi, all of Alabama is engulfed in that 15% risk there. Areas of western Georgia, the Panhandle of Florida here, areas for Tennessee is included with that as well. And then of course there for day 8, for day 8 they do not have anything out there because that is like the maximum. I don't even recall that they issued anything on a day 8 before. Not exactly sure. I could be wrong with that, but I know they've issued day 7s. I don't know if they've issued anything on day 8 before. Once again, it's a little over a week. But anyways, but that's that. That is what we are looking at regarding the overall Storm Prediction Center view. So like I said, obviously it's a little bit crazy, to look at. Definitely is a little bit crazy because like I said, the Storm Prediction Center has already put out a big risk here, for that. It's just nuts. And like I said, the fact that it's so far away too, that just makes it a little bit more interesting. The fact that there's been so much agreement between the models here, that's not a good sign. Typically if there's a lot of agreement far out, that could mean things that could turn pretty nasty here. But anyways, I tell you what, let's go ahead and talk the models here because we got a bit of stuff to discuss regarding overall thunderstorms and stuff. There's about 2 lines that's going to be moving its way through the country, 2 cold fronts essentially. One for around the 14th, which might pose a little bit of a thunderstorm threat here, but the big one's not going to happen until like the 15th and 16th. But let's go ahead and track on over here, guys, to the models. So first up, we have the European model, the ECMWF. This is in the kind of the current status of the atmosphere right now. We track our way down here in time. There's a little bit of a low pressure system that starts moving its way towards the region. That's what kicks up all that snow later on. Then we track our way down here through time. Now there's a little bit of a cold front that fires off here for Valentine's Day. Now this could possibly throw the possibility of maybe some thunderstorm activity here. If we take a look at the overall energy that's available in the atmosphere here, which that was for forecast hour 90 something. Overall, I mean, there is a little bit of instability, a few little pockets of some instability. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy. You can see here for the 15th, though, however, we start to get a lot of energy starting to move its way up into the southern plains. This tracks its way up here to the, far to the north. Look at that. Instability values of over 2,000 joules per kilogram. Like I said, only 500 is needed typically for thunderstorms and the severe thunderstorms to start. Really, anything over 1,000 is the good zone, but we have over 2,000 here, which that is plenty. And I mean excessive amounts of instability that's in the atmosphere here for this event. Definitely could be interesting. So a lot of that activity is essentially here across eastern Texas, southeastern Oklahoma, areas here towards southern Arkansas, there towards Louisiana. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's just nuts. Once again, I mean, some pockets even near 3,000 joules per kilogram. Once again, that's just overkill. That is a lot of energy that's in the atmosphere. So that is something we got to really watch out for. There's a cold front, obviously that big line that you see there. All this is that cooler air. This is all the warmer air in front. Anyways, this tracked its way through to time here. But that's just quite interesting to see here. With that being said, Now, as this system moves through, so this is for forecast hour 138. Remember this. This is for the 16th, the early 16th. This is kind of around 1 o'clock, actually, 1 o'clock Central Time here. So remember that, okay? So we track our way over here to the wind speeds. Like I said, we're taking a look here about 4,000 feet up in the air. What did I say? Forecast hour 162, right? Or something like that. Uh-oh, I already forgot here. Let's actually bring that back up. Mixed layer cape. Let's see. Yeah, my memory is shot here. I just now had that. 138. Okay, so forecast hour number 138. It was 162 yesterday. So let's see. 138 here. We're gonna track all the way over in time. So 138. Yeah, right there where all that instability was. There's a lot of strong winds here towards the surface. Once again, this is probably about like I said, essentially this is this is pretty crazy. This is about 2,000 to 4,000 feet up in the air. Okay, so it's not too high up. The winds are absolutely cranking. Like I said, around 40 to 50 knots, which, like I said, is equivalent to about nearly 50 to 60 miles an hour, essentially. Kind of roughly. So obviously, that's some pretty strong winds. And like I said, you note that the wind direction here from these little wind barbs, like I said, these things are moving basically to the northeast. They do have a little bit of a northeasterly component. You can see the wind speeds or the wind direction is moving this way. So it's coming from the south, as mentioned, and is heading to the north, essentially. So that's that. So we have some very, very strong winds here across the lower atmosphere. And that's going to be playing a very important role for tornadoes to fire off here. So that's kind of a big concern. Like I said, we mix up there. Once again, forecast hour 138 there. We go ahead and bring back the instability. Basically, the fuel, the food that the thunderstorms need in order to start. Which, and like I said, obviously, with forecast hour number 138 there, we're going to go ahead and highlight that area of instability in blue to kind of show you guys where all of that energy is located, right? So we're going to go ahead and line that up here for you guys. So that's basically where all the strong energy is. And anything that's inside of that zone has enough energy to fire off some storms and even nasty, severe storms. So to keep that in mind there. So forecast hour 138. We move back over here to, like I said, the lower portions of the atmosphere. Forecast hour 138. And where we highlighted, there's some very strong winds, as mentioned before there. Right over where that instability was located. Directly over Louisiana, areas here of Arkansas, and areas of Mississippi. Also eastern Texas included. So these areas here, this is for basically the early 16th, late 15th. We might be in store for a possible tornado event here. And like I said, this is kind of tornado outbreak material here. Whenever you see stuff like this, well over 50 knots, that's a bit concerning. Some areas actually showing above 50 knots, kind of around 60 knots of winds into that upper area of where all that instability is at. So like I said, that's definitely not good. Now we drive our winds here even higher up in the atmosphere. This is around 30,000 feet or so. Forecast hour 138 here. And we look, and the winds are changing directions. Like I said, the last time we were looking at this, the winds were basically moving like that, moving to the north. Basically north-northeast. But now the winds are moving in a direction like this. They're changing direction. They're changing their way that they're blowing. And that creates some spin in the atmosphere, essentially. So that creates spin in the atmosphere, knowing that wind direction will change with altitude. So, like I said, the lower portions of the atmosphere, the winds are moving kind of slightly northeast. And as you go up in the atmosphere, the wind direction changes a little bit more to the northeast. And basically that difference in wind speeds and directions creates spin in the atmosphere with any thunderstorm that tries to fire off. So, with that being said, there is plenty of instability, which is needed for thunderstorms and severe thunderstorms. And then you have the wind shear, strong winds across the lower and mid portions of the atmosphere, which is available, which obviously that creates, the tornado probability. The next thing on the list is the moisture supply. Like I said, we look at that in the terms of dew points. Dew points here in the 60s and 70s is like the Goldilocks zone, the good zone for thunderstorms and severe thunderstorms and tornadoes. So we track our way down here in time. So we're looking for values here in the 60s and 70s. And look at this. So for the first event here that moves through, well, you know what? There's just enough instability here. For the 16th here, look at that. Dew points are all in the 60s, the upper 60s, in which that is supplying plenty enough moisture that these thunderstorms need in order to thrive. So, we have everything in line here, and it looks pretty aggressive and over a widespread area. So we have our winds. Like I said, we have the strong winds at the lower and mid portions of the atmosphere changing directions, which creates the spin in the atmosphere for tornadoes. We have the moisture and the dew points of the 60s, which, like I said, that typically throws that big concern there. And then, like I said, all that instability, all of that thunderstorm fuel that's available is just nuts. There's a lot and lots. All these conditions are coming together to fire off these storms here. And like I said, this is not good. And like I said, all of them together really kind of screams we might be in line for a possible outbreak here. And like I said, possibly some not just normal tornadoes, but maybe even some strong tornadoes could be possible out of this. So we need to definitely keep an eye out for that. Now we're gonna do one more thing here. We're gonna go ahead and grab what we call a sounding. Basically just grabs a profile of the atmosphere, essentially, for a certain time. So we track way down here in time, like I said, forecast hour 1:38. We're going to grab a sounding in northwestern, we'll do northwestern Louisiana here. Now, like I said, I'm not expecting you guys to understand this, but essentially, so just look at this side. Look at this little area up here, that little block that's right here. So you see how the little, here's that big plus graph here. So you see how it goes up north, and then it starts turning to the northeast. That is that wind directional change I was telling you about. And this says PDS Tour for possible hazard type. The sounding's recommending that there might be a tornado with this sounding here. Once again, dew points here in the upper 60s. And obviously, there's a lot of dry atmosphere here, too. Basically, between the green, that's your dew point, and the red, that's your temperature. This is the profile. This is the surface of the atmosphere, this is the middle levels of the atmosphere, and this is the upper levels. And you can see how it really spaces out between the green and red. That's showing a very dry atmosphere, which is supportive for hail. So, with that being said, not only is there tornadoes on the concern, but there's also the possibility for some large hail and even damaging winds, perhaps up to 70 miles per hour. So that's kind of the concern. First of all, possibility here for the 16th, 15th and 16th. Possibility for some large tornadoes. Possibility for some damaging winds, perhaps 60 to 70 miles per hour, and a possibility for some large hail. Now, like I said, things could still change. Obviously, this is still a few days out, but as of what we've been seeing over the last few days, like I said, this is not just popping up. This has been in the works here from the models for the last several days. And so what that usually means is that there's a lot of support. There's a lot of agreement between the models. There's a lot of a trend. This is trending here, essentially. And what that means is that, well, things could get bad. And we have a lot of support behind it. So we need to definitely keep an eye out there for that. So once again, more than enough instability is in place here. We have some very high dew points, which is supporting the thunderstorms and the tornadoes. We have ourselves, like I said, we also have ourselves, the wind profile, very, very strong winds across the lower and middle portions of the atmosphere, changing directions and with wind speeds, which obviously creates the spin that needed for tornadoes, which, like I said, obviously is very much not good at all. Like I said, this is very much not good at all, so we definitely need to watch out for that. Let's see, is East Georgia going to be getting bad weather next week? According to the models here, like I said, we do have ourselves a risk for Georgia here for next Thursday. Yes, it's very far out, but like I said, there's been so much support here. As you can see there, I'll actually make this look a little better for you. There in western Georgia, you said eastern Georgia. Obviously, eastern Georgia's a little too early to tell still, but as this event does move eastward, I guarantee you there will likely be some strong to severe storms for your location. So I'd say watch out for it maybe for the later portion of next week. It could be possible. Yeah, definitely could be possible. Central Indiana for severe weather next week. Probably not. According to the models and all, the instability does not, like I said, the overall fuel for thunderstorms does not get up high enough to be there for areas of Indiana. Like I said, here's the overall energy that's available, and you can see how, maybe a little bit actually. The more I look at that, that's for the 16th, right? Well, you know what? There might be a little bit of instability there. Maybe just for some thunderstorms and perhaps maybe an isolated severe storm theoretically could be possible. The more I look at that, with the amount of instability that's in the atmosphere there, that's a possibility. We'll go and grab a sounding here. Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to continue watching that there. It really just depends on which model you look at here. Let's take a look at the GFS regarding that. We track way down in time. Obviously through the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th. It does show a bit of instability there, possibly there towards Indiana. But in the terms, kind of under 500 in most areas. Marginal tornado, yeah. I mean, the winds are there. Yeah, the wind column is there. That's for sure. Dew points upper 50s. That's still supportive. Anything lower, I really wouldn't like too much. But anyways, like I said, yeah, that definitely looks like maybe you might be in line. You just might be in line. So an enhanced risk is possible. It's very early to tell that, but I'd say possibly. If trends continue on in which they are right now, yeah, easily, I'm sure. Let's see. Draft Lady says, what about 27106? Any time frame that you see? Thank you. No problem. So, yeah, for 27106, let me actually go ahead and restart this program. I have to, because this thing loves to be stupid sometimes. So, I'm going to go ahead and switch this over. We're going to restart the program here. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I used to, like I said, for some reason, like, here, I'll show you. So, see on my screen how there's that little search thing in the top over here on the right-hand side? How it says search? That is what I use to look up zip codes. And sometimes whenever I load the program, it does not load. So, I sometimes have to reload it for some reason. Anyways, for North Carolina, you, my friend, okay, so you're right here towards Salem area, west of Greensboro. So, when it comes to things here, I'm sure you're probably wondering about the possibility of winter weather here. So the thing is that across the way here, when it comes to snowfall, yeah, so for those areas, we take a look over towards areas in North Carolina region. Let's see, you were towards Salem, you're west of Greensboro. From what it looks like is maybe a trace of snow. Like I said, it looks more to be like a big snow for the upper elevations, as of now. Ice, yeah, there's nothing on the ice yet, but yeah, we might need to watch out for maybe just a little trace. Honestly, I really don't think it's gonna be too much for those areas for you. So, yeah, I hate to I hate to get your hopes down from that. Let's see here. Caden says, hello, what's up, Caden? Hope you're doing good. Glad to have you here, my friend. But yeah, I'll tell you what, let's talk about that winter weather now. We've been talking about the severe weather here, but just overall, just know on the severe weather things, the Storm Prediction Center has already put out a bigger risk about it. And then, like I said, on top of that, there's just a lot of support here. It's just crazy. Eli says, what about 46033 for next big system next week? All right, Eli. So for you, my friend, we'll go ahead and take your zip code here, and we'll plug it in and see exactly where this is near. Is this literally the same area we were just looking at? No, it can't be. Oh, okay, there we go. Indiana. For some reason, it showed up the same area. So this is for Indianapolis. So, yeah, so like I said, there was a possibility of a little bit of instability that could theoretically fire off some storms here towards, like, Indiana down in time. Kind of showing here for the 16th. I'd have to say probably for the later 16th. Which, like I said, still a few days out. Things can still change. Just keep that in mind, but from what things are looking at right now, that's kind of what we're looking at. Hopefully that helped you out there, Eli. But anyways, like I said, that's just kind of what we're seeing here. So now we're going to track our way down into the models. We're going to talk snowfall. We're going to talk snowfall accumulation. So if you guys are wanting to know about that, we'll let you know. Let's see. I worry most about ice or wind, especially when I don't even like snow. I think that I am monitoring that, though. Thank you for checking. No problem. And actually, we're going to drive to the southeast right now and show you what might be in store here for the snow and all that fun stuff. If we take a look here at winter weather, we take a look here. Once again, this is between the models. We're going to have to take a look at a few models here, so just don't trust what you're about to see here. Don't trust just one model. With the snowfall here, I mean, this model, here, I'll actually bring up the Mid-Atlantic. This covers a lot of the southeast, too. The snowfall, a lot of it's expected in the western areas here of, kind of North Carolina into the upper elevations of Virginia as well as West Virginia. A lot for the Appalachian and Smoky Mountain regions. So that's basically where a lot of the heavy accumulation is expected. When it comes to the ice accumulation, though, like I said, I know you're probably wondering about that. According to the GFS model, a lot of it seems to be mostly isolated in Virginia and eastern West Virginia here. However, if we compare this with the European model here, kind of the same thing, although introducing more for the upper elevations of western, basically there for western North Carolina, essentially. Now, if we compare this with the snow compared to what the GFS was saying, Yeah, the European model has definitely died down a lot here compared to previous runs, but it is showing a lot of the heavy snow still across these areas. Possibly even getting some towards like northern Alabama, northern Georgia. I say theoretically could be possible, but it looks like a lot of the heaviest accumulations is going to be kind of here towards the upper elevations of North Carolina and eastern Tennessee, throughout portions of eastern West Virginia and basically western Virginia. I think southwestern Virginia probably will be like the peak of everything. So that's kind of where we got to really be watching out for. That's kind of what I think here. Like I said, especially for those upper elevations, because it is a bit cooler than it is down lower. Basically towards the surface, or at the normal ground and not on a hill or not on a mountain. But anyways, but that's that. And something I really want to show you is the blend of models here. Like I said, this is the one you should probably trust the most, essentially, because like I said, obviously with that being said, like I said, this blends a whole bunch of models together, and once again has those same areas. This one's dramatically a lot less snowfall than a lot of these other models had to say. Honestly, maybe 3 to 5 inches here. Maybe locally higher amounts theoretically could be possible, maybe up to 6, 7 inches. But once again, this is for areas of western North Carolina, very far eastern, Tennessee there, throughout Virginia and eastern West Virginia. So that's kind of that. The ice, like I said, the ice seems to be more of the concern here. When it comes to the blend here, like I said, southwestern Virginia might seriously be impacted by some ice. And like I said, snow is one thing, but ice is another, and ice is horrible. Let's see here. Our Farrells, let's take a look here at 25401. Alrighty, no problem. So that is across areas of West Virginia. So okay, so this is I actually have friends up here in the panhandle of West Virginia. So for your location, like I said, we take a look here over. You can see how the if we project the the freezing rain and stuff like that between the blend of models, really nothing's touching over there towards you. So you're okay from what it looks like as of now from the from the freezing rain and all that stuff. Honestly, kind of the same thing with the snow. Not really expected to see too much. If we compare this, with the GFS model, the American GFS, the GFS model does actually support, maybe a little bit of snow there, up to 1 inch possibly. But overall, I mean, still the accumulations is quite low for your location here. Let's see the European model. Yeah, completely out of that there. Really not expected to see much of anything. So I hate to tell you that. I mean, if you're a snow hater, honestly, then that's good news for you. But if you like snow and stuff like that, well, that's just this is probably not the event for you, from what it looks like. And like I said, we move over back here to this screen here. Like I said, this is basically what's happening is we get ourselves a big shot of moisture that is basically driving its way up here in the country. We're going to get a low pressure system to sweep down, grab a hold of all this moisture essentially, which this model's not done. We're going to drop back down to 18Z. That's why it's not working. So like I said, basically what's happening here is we have this big old, there's a low pressure system. We have a lot of this moisture that's kicking its way into the country. We have a low pressure system that's kicking and basically grabbing a hold of that moisture and tracking northeast. The cold air is backing in from the back here, creating that precipitation type to change from rain into snow, which like I said, is a possibility. Let's see here. Thanks, man. No problem. No problem at all. Caden says, would Dallas-Fort Worth / Northeast Texas get impacted by the severe weather on Wednesday? So, okay, we'll take a look at a few models here to discuss. But first, the Storm Prediction Center, you said for Wednesday, right? So, Wednesday, they do have areas in northeastern Texas, possibly seeing... Yeah, they do have areas in northeastern Texas possibly seeing some severe thunderstorm activity. That 15% does actually reach into northeastern Texas, which is a little bit interesting. But whenever it comes to the models and all that fun stuff here, we're going to switch on back over here. We take a look over towards the southern United States. So we take a look at the instability that's available in the atmosphere. Like I said, basically just a thunderstorm fuel that's essentially needed for the most part here. It does, and it actually does show a decent amount of instability there. So yes, I definitely would say that, that severe thunderstorms would likely be a possibility for the Dallas region. So keep that in mind. Yeah, obviously this is kind of here for for late Wednesday, moving through Thursday. Cold front pushes through, and then all that stuff is gone essentially. But anyways, but that's that. You know, that's kind of what we're looking at. Like I said, the instability tracks eastward. A little curious to see what happens to it once it gets towards, like, Georgia region. It looks like that instability thins out. It looks like this event might be at its strongest towards, like, eastern Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi region. That's kind of where the strongest, I'd say, from what it looks like now, would likely be. Which is definitely pretty crazy. But anyways, but like I said, we just got to definitely watch out for that there. You know, it's definitely crazy. And we'll keep y'all informed with it. Absolutely. And once again, if you have any questions throughout this, my friends, you know, feel free to let me know. We're here for you. Big, steep lapse rates here. Oh my gosh, that's weird looking. But like I said, if there's anything we can do for you guys, you know, honestly, just know that we're here for you. You know, just know that we got you guys covered. Like I said, I care about you all. I want you guys to stay safe out there. And like I said, I'm going to do everything I can in my power to make sure you guys are staying up to date here. And making sure that you guys are prepared. Because like I said, obviously preparing for these events is like the best thing we can do. You know, obviously, you know, Mother Nature's going to do its thing no matter what. And it's going to drop tornadoes if it wants to. But the best that we can do is obviously prepare you and tell you where these could be possible, you know. And like I said, nowadays, you know, in this time of age, we have the tools in order to get an idea of what we possibly could see here. And with that being said, that's good. And like I said, we have the tools on the stream here in order to look and see what we possibly could be seeing in the future. I mean, like I said, if there's anything specific you want me to look at, like I said, ranging from the severe weather to this winter weather system, like I said, please let me know. And like I said, it looks like that snow and sleet is going to really start happening here for like the early 12th. Kicking up there towards, you know, western North Carolina, throughout areas of Tennessee. Really kicking up for southwestern areas of, southwestern areas here of, like, Virginia. You know, really there for the western areas. Once again, kind of for, like, the Blue Ridge Mountains. That looks quite nasty. It really does. I mean, look at that. Yeah, really showing out in the fact here. I mean, according to the latest models, I mean, it shows a bit of snow, then shows it turn to sleet, and then shows some freezing rain, and then just rain right behind it. Which, like I said, you know, what it seems like is that the latest models that come out here is kind of trending more and more less snow for these areas, probably due to more warm air infiltration. But overall, I mean, that's that. I mean, you know, this little system might even have the possibility of producing some storms here. Because it looks like it has a pretty violent cold front on it. Let's see. We'll track this down here in time. Let's see. Well, maybe it kind of looks like it's pushing just as it moves east of Florida, essentially. I mean, I'm sure maybe a few strong to severe storms could be possible. Let me pull up the composite reflectivity here. This is the one you want to look at, not the precipitation type. So, yeah, some storms move through. Yeah, honestly, yeah, it really shows that line increasing basically once this, once the cold front moves already through Florida, essentially. And like I said, that low pressure system is expected to kick off there, you know, kind of really move up its way to the northeast here. Kind of starting across the southeast, and it's expected just to kind of track here under the mid-Atlantic, if you take a look at the longer range models. Or cut straight through the mid-Atlantic region, I should say. But overall, I mean, this is, yeah, I mean, that's the first system we're watching, and you can start to see the secondary system. See that low-pressure system right there? That's going to be the big event. And which, I wonder, if we take a look at the model, or the satellite view, sometimes we can detect these events here, even already firing off. Let's see here. You know what? I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think I already see that system. The beginning of this system that's moving through here. Let's try turning to true color. There we go. Interesting. We might have to change to low level water vapor maybe to show you where that's at. So give it 1 second. Let's see. So we're going to go ahead and switch over here real quickly. Just show you the satellite view here. So look right there. So you see that little spin up right here? That that could be that low pressure system. And like I said, this thing's expected to drive south. Yeah, that little guy right there could be the supported. I'm actually gonna figure that out and see if that's true or not. We'll take a look here back over at the models. So let's see. We have that little low pressure system moves through. Yeah. Well, no, that's okay. So that's it right there. Yep, that's it right there. That little low pressure system we're looking at. This tracks south, kicks off some storms. No, that's not the big one though. Wow, I just realized that this could seriously throw some snow for like the Midwest region. Yeah, that's at this point it's way too far out, but that's just nuts. Yeah, I mean this might be like a blizzard type of event too if this verifies. Like I said, if this verifies, which I think it is. You know, based off of what we've seen here the last few days, I mean this thing's been popping up in the models left and right. So I say there's quite a decent probability here. But yeah. But like I said, once again, everybody, if you have any more questions, feel free to let us know. As we will be, you're probably heading off here soon. I just want to hop on here for a little bit of an late afternoon, early evening update. I'm probably going to do another live stream tonight, by the way. Kind of doing the same thing what we're doing now. Like I said, right now there's people that are still working and stuff like that who haven't got off work and obviously can't join our live stream. So in order to help keep people prepared, we're going to be probably going live here maybe around 8:30, 9 o'clock. Probably around sometime there. So look out for a live stream then. And like I said, if you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button, my friends. It'd be greatly appreciated. Once again, thank you all so much for being here. You guys absolutely rock. And but yeah, I think that's going to wrap up a little update here for right now. Once again, we'll be back here later on. Today. So once again, around 8:30, 9 o'clock, kind of what I'm thinking about. And we'll take things from there. But once again, if you have any questions throughout this, even if we're off the air, feel free to join our Discord down below and ask the questions there. And I will be sure to answer them as quick as possible. All right, my friends, once again, thank you all so much for joining us. That is going to wrap it up here for right now. Stream's going to head off here in about 1 minute. So if you guys have anything to say, feel free to say it to your friends and family who might just be here in the chat. And with that being said, my friends, that's going to wrap it up for the night. Once again, thank you all so much for joining us, and we'll catch you guys here later on tonight, once again, at about 8:30, 9 o'clock. Peace out, my friends. See you later.
Mostly cloudy. A chance of showers in the evening. Lows in the lower 30s. Chance of rain 40%. Friday, much cooler. Mostly cloudy in the morning, then becoming partly cloudy. Highs in the mid-40s. The time is 4:22 p.m. Central Standard Time. At 4 p.m. at Albertville Regional Airport, skies were cloudy. The temperature was 54 degrees. The dew point was 36, making the relative humidity 50%. Winds were north at 10 miles an hour. The pressure was 30.18 inches and steady. At Cullman Regional Airport, skies were fair. The temperature was 54 degrees.